Gogo Ganzi right here. Quality paper. That real good stuff right there. Made from only the finest. Only the finest.
Pop Gen Fusion.
Welcome, guys, to the second episode of Pop Gen Fusion. Now, if you are just tuning in, if you didn't see the first one, Pop Gen Fusion is where, well, actually, it's a show where we talk about all of our fandoms from movies, video games, anime, and we fuse them all together with our creative music. Thank you. I totally forgot about that. Music. And we fuse them all together with our creative experience.
Our creative experience and our fandom experience.
Absolutely,
Life
yeah.
experience.
So actually, that's a good one. I like that. Yeah. So welcome to the show. This is the second one. Hopefully not the last, right, producer? Right.
we were greenlit.
Yes.
We were greenlit for additional episodes.
Yeah. So today we got a pretty good show. Actually,
I'm one of your hosts. I am Gary Gibbs II, aka Okami, and we're here with
Pandy, the artist, writer, creator of Gogo Ganzi and co-founder of Lair Studios, this is where we're reporting from.
We are in the
Lair.
Lair. We are in the Lair.
So yeah. Thank you for the introduction. I totally forgot about that. Y'all know who he is.
I am a voiceover artist and the founder of Command Grab Entertainment, and we are partnered together to bring you Pop Gen Fusion and Dynamic Manga.
That's right. There's a lot of fusions going on here. A lot of melting together right here.
Fusion.
So what are we talking about today?
We're talking about anime today. Man. One of our top subjects.
Only something. No, I'm sure.
We just went down a list of a lot of the things that we talk about.
That's true. Yeah. And we're gonna be talking about some. I feel this is gonna be kind of fun to kind of walk down a little bit of memory lane and hopefully inspire people to kind of see where we come from a little bit.
So anime is part of the pop in the Pop Gen Fusion. What we're talking about, it's pop culture. It's a pop culture phenomenon. It's been out for quite some time now. It's very much the norm in the rest of the world and in the United States and everything like that. But a lot of people got into it at different points. When I got into it, it was a little bit more niche. When people got into it in the 80s, it was probably really, 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 really niche. And but we got people who are being born now or getting into it now, and it's just been a thing for a long time. So people are getting into it at different times. People are watching different things, getting into it. So we're probably we're gonna discuss, entry level animes if you're trying to put someone on.
Yes.
Intermediate one when you kind of get what anime is.
Absolutely.
And then kind of what's your expert level.
Yeah. And yeah, we're going to be kind of breaking these things down, just as far as like, yeah, kind of like what you said, if we had to get someone in there. I think the expert one is, I know when I was preparing for this, I felt like the expert one, I really had to do a little bit of thinking, because if they're already experts, if they're big, but then just like what you just said, there are people who are into anime now. So it doesn't necessarily mean if they're an expert now, you're only kind of touching the iceberg of what anime, if you haven't seen anything from like, the early 2000s, 90s, 80s, even 70s. So I feel like this is a really good list. I think we're like doing we're
gonna do 3 from each: 3 beginners, 3 intermediates,
yes,
and 3 expert levels.
Yes.
And you got to kind of factor in, I guess I would say a list that would probably most people would use, because there are different genres in anime, right? There's stuff for kids, there's stuff for teens, there's stuff for women, there's stuff for men, there's stuff for both. It's just it's all encompassing. So it's kind of like if you're on the list that I would probably provide would be something that I would think I can get majority of people in. Like when I got in anime, I seen someone I was in elementary school, but I probably started really like, what is this, when I was like a preteen. I was like 12, 13 years old.
Gotcha. Yeah. Actually, yeah. I would have to say like middle school. Yeah, as well.
But it was also a lot more Wild West.
Yeah.
Because we watched stuff that was wild.
Not regulated. I'm telling you, man. Like, again, I always tell this story, and I did a recent interview, and I told someone, like, I unfortunately watched Ninja Scroll, and I kind of feel like that I hope people don't kind of misconstrue what I say. Unfortunately,
you were blessed to watch
exactly. No, it was just, and I think Wild Wild West is like the perfect word to describe it, because like
there was like, hey, we're gonna buy a bunch of these shonen animes and we're gonna give them towards children. No, it was like, I think when they brought it over there, they already kind of knew that, or when people, they already kind of knew that like. We're gonna market it for like older people, because they felt like such the wild. I mean, I watched the wildest stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, Akira's not for little kids.
No,
it's like
exactly
Wicked City and stuff like
that.
There's
Demon
like
City,
R-rated
Shinjuku.
type of stuff.
Yeah,
Crying Freeman.
Oh man, yeah. Well, that one I watched when I was a lot older. So again, I was fortunate.
I was exposed to a lot of stuff as a kid, and I mean, I'm glad for it, but at the same time, it's like, yo, what is this?
Yeah, no, definitely, and again, like in the same interview, it was kind of a blessing, because I saw this art style that I was scared of, but I was so intrigued, and it just absolutely loved it from an artistic standpoint. And so it all worked out. So
I mean, there's always that tie for different things. Like for me, anime. It was all things Japanese, I guess. It was like the culture. It was video games that really got me. Fighting games specifically. Like, a lot of my first experience was like, yo, I seen like, I was in the Street Fighter, I was in the Fatal Fury. I seen like they got animated movies of this stuff.
Yeah,
what is this? It looks like the animation look crazy. I want to get this. I want to watch this.
Yeah,
and then show me more.
And actually, we were even talking about that. I think a while ago, about how. Even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at one point was different in Japan. Like they turned into like
Super
Sentai.
Mutation.
No.
Super Mutation.
And same thing with the X-Men. like we were talking about the ending of the
90s X-Men show.
Yeah,
Fox.
The Fox Kids one. The ending credits, or the ending opening, was a clip from the opening of the Japanese X-Men show, and I was like, and
Japanese opening had way better animation.
Oh my goodness, it was nice.
Way better. Like they had the budget for that. And then they used, I would have been disappointed. Like if I'm watching the opening has this animation and then the show has that. I mean, I have nothing but good things to think about with the old Fox stuff.
Yeah,
but just the animation is just different.
Oh yeah. And I mean, it was a little confusing, like kind of for me at the end watching it, like, wait, I just watched this show. It had nothing of that in there. So, but if you feel like we missed anything throughout this list, definitely, leave a comment below.
We will miss some stuff.
Yes, we will. Yeah. If you agree with it, definitely let us know. If you disagree,
then keep it to yourself.
Oh, snap. No, I'm here for you. I'll listen to you. No, definitely drop a comment. We love to kind of engage with that. So, yeah. So we want to go ahead and get started.
We're gonna start the beginning list.
We can start.
What are we gonna do? I'm name 3. You name 3. Or we're gonna go back and forth.
Let's go back and forth and see and see that. So we're gonna start off with the newbie category.
Okay.
If you're not familiar with the word newbie, it is a slang for a beginner or a newborn.
I think everyone in the world knows what that is.
I don't know. I mean, well, yeah, that's true. But there probably is someone that's like, wait, newbie? Like, I'm not no newbie.
I mean, we're at the point now where we even like we abbreviate newbie with noob.
This is true. You're right. Newborn is the Latin root word for new baby.
Is it? Yeah, I don't know. You're gonna look that up? You can Google that real quick? Let me go first. What? You wanna go first? You go first.
Yes. So if I was to get a newbie or a new person into anime, I would start them off very gentle. Run a bath, have some bubbles going, little rose petals, and be like little bubbly. Let's start you off with some Kiki's Delivery Service.
Oh, you really like
Studio Ghibli. Yes, rock them to sleep. Because again, they don't need to be exposed to what we got exposed to. Like, I would never do that to anybody. So I would start off with that. And
why Kiki's Delivery Service? Oh, well, I guess you're telling me that, though.
Oh, well, so Yeah, actually, I guess we can do the list, and then we'll say our pick, and then we'll say the reason, and then the person can counter and be like, "That's wrong." Some bull crap.
Well, it's all subjective, but go on.
So I feel like Kiki's Delivery Service is pretty much as close to Disney as you can kind of get.
Right.
It has a very kind of simple kind of story to it. Even some of the tropes aren't like there are some sort of anime tropes in there, but it's not really super heavy. Mm-hmm. But I feel people could really get it and want to know more about it. And then of course, just Studio Ghibli's whole line, you could binge that and just get deeper and deeper and deeper. And I think if you really want to get them into the hard stuff, they kind of already have that with Princess Mononoke. And for me, that's battle shonen. That's crazy.
You say that, but I don't know if, because I feel like with Kiki's Delivery Service, it can be it can be like a Disney thing where you're in and you're out, and then you're like, I'm not. It doesn't intrigue me enough to follow with the White Rabbit down the hole. I don't know.
So
what this whimsical Japanese stuff is like. I mean, it's a good. I mean, I watched it when I was younger.
Well, it talks about some of the tropes that we talk about right now, kind of power systems, like in Kiki's Delivery Service.
Explain.
I'll explain. So, if you haven't watched Kiki's Delivery Service, I'll try to
watch it. Watch all the Studio Ghibli movies.
It's really good. The raccoon one, I don't know.
Which one was that one?
Oh, you'll know if you know.
No, yeah.
So the power system, Kiki loses her power, and they're trying to figure out what's the source.
She's a young witch, by the way.
She's a young witch, yeah, and they're trying to figure out what is kind of, how is this sort of her power kind of motivated or powered on when she loses it, and she almost goes on something that's very anime, a training journey, like, or not a journey but a training camp, like and she had to like go there and kind of meditate. I'm totally Dragon Ball Zing this up. It's not like she's over there like in the time capsule or anything like that, but I feel it's a gentle entryway. So when people do get into, like, let's say a Dragon Ball Z, it's a little bit more, I don't know, I feel it's a gentle kind of entryway.
So when you're trying to give somebody an entryway into this, what age are you talking about? Do you feel like this could be for anybody, or do you feel like, a 6-year-old, or do you like, your grown coworker, like, bro, like, let me put you on that Kiki's Delivery Service.
Oh, good question.
I need you.
Okay.
Let me slide you this.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Can I do 2 from Studio Ghibli? Can we do that? Am I breaking my own rules, producer?
No,
can I do this?
You cannot.
No. Okay. So, Studio Ghibli, for anybody like, it would definitely be for younger viewers. I would definitely put younger viewer. My coworkers, anybody my age, probably not. But this is a top 3. Yeah. So I'm sort of working my way upward. Okay. So for a young fan, if someone's like, I get made fun of at school for not liking anime, I need something. I'm like, here you go. Here's some Kiki Delivery Service. But don't tell nobody. You gotta build up your street cred. But here, take this.
Okay.
Power systems. All right,
Kiki
out here training.
I'm gonna go. One of my first. This is not on my list, but one of my first series was Slayers. Not the series, not the OVAs. The series where it was Lisa I'm thinking of the actress Lisa Ortiz, Lena Inverse, and Gaui Gabriev, and they went on this journey of, plundering and fun stuff, and it was like a real easy way at comedy and all that kind of stuff. I think if you want to get someone into the genre, this is what I'm going to my pick, is like you gotta give them something that like will make them want more. I know, like, for me, it was like, I'm gonna jump into a series that's popular that came later, which is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yeah, okay.
You could do the original Full Metal Alchemist, but I think Brotherhood is more of a complete story. And I say this because it's easy, because you have Western names.
Okay.
You have
Wait, for Slayers?
No, I'm talking about. I don't know why I brought up Slayer, because I just told you my first anime, but
it's
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I wrote down Slayers.
I'm all over the place. But it's Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and I say that because it's a series, so you get this time that you can tell this whole story. Mm-hmm. It's a completed story, and it has Western names, which is easy, but then it has a lot of those tropes, like little things like with Ed, the main character. He's like he gets mad and he goes chibi. Like you don't really see that stuff in like Western type of storytelling. Like it's little stuff like that. All this magic and lore, and it has drama. But it's enough to where I think you get a teenager into it, and then you can get somebody who's like 20s, and you can get them to watch it. And then somebody who's even younger. Yeah, it's passable. They got some stuff in there that's like, whoa, that's wild, but it's not like real bloody.
No, that's
it's
true.
not real, and it's cute enough, you know, aesthetically. Yeah, but then when it gets action packed, it gets real. Too. Gotcha. I think it's like a nice way to be like, okay, give me more of this. What is this? Yeah, has good. The openings and the exit songs, outro songs are like fire.
Yeah. Now tropes, like, and I know we've talked about tropes before, and I feel for and I'm kind of going off on a tangent just because, you know, tangent. We need a tangent counter. Like, we do. Tangent one. Tropes with him going chibi. Yeah. Do you think people who are not sort of used to that will think that's part of his power system? And do you think that would, like, does he do it enough where
he does it enough where it's like it's only when he's made fun of being short.
Okay.
And he's not the only character that does that. Mm-hmm. And it's enough that eases you in to get what's happening. Like it's a comedic moment.
Gotcha.
To where it's like I do know some people who didn't like that. Yeah. But they were already anime fans at that point. They was like, "Oh, it's just so stupid." But I do think that if you're getting into it, it's something that it's charming enough. It's not wild enough, and I think that's the trope, the comedy trope the most, that if people are creating their own, they would go with that type of.
And I guess it's kind of easier. You know, that's interesting. Why do you think turning chibi is a trope?
Why? It's something that just, I think that's part of the Japanese culture, like that of their comedy.
Yeah, and
that's what all the tropes are, really.
Yeah,
it's their way of their comedies and their it's not all comedy, but the comedy ones are what they get a laugh out of.
Gotcha. And I noticed with manga, all the feelings are very sort of, and I'm like, all the feelings are sort of outward. They're not like their inward feelings are projected into their shape. And so like and you know, when I was doing Go Oganzi, I was really kind of studying that of like why they would do certain things like that, and some of those things of like either feeling, like you said, him being made fun of for being small, maybe feeling inferior or acting like a child, or like, you know, all these little things. Which do you feel, let me ask you this, do you feel that animes are getting away from those tropes, or do you think they're kind of going pretty strong?
They've gotten away from some, a lot of them, but I think that's one of the ones that kind of remains.
Actually, yeah.
Like that's that's like your entry trope.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, actually, no, you're absolutely right. That and nosebleeds.
I don't really see nosebleeds no more. You know why? Because I feel like people are trying to get away from the sexualization and stuff. Yeah. I think it's funny. I still think it is. It's something that I would want to even use if I was writing something.
No, I feel you. It definitely took me a while when I was younger. I knew it had something to do with maybe being excited, but I didn't really understand the blood loss. But, you know, you'll understand when you get older.
Like, who do you think is watching this?
I don't know. Listen, Pop Gen Fusion. It's a G-rated. G-rated for good times, man. Good times. Listen, all right. There was something else I was going to ask you about your. So you have the magic. What do you think? Oh, you already said the age range. Yeah. So
I feel like that's like everybody.
Okay.
Rated E for everybody.
Okay.
Like these hands.
Oh, snap!
Come at me, bro.
Controversy. One. We started it off strong. Well, let me ask you this. You said rated E for everyone.
It's not really for everyone, but it's like
some poor child named Billy is gonna be watching Brotherhood.
If he's 10, I think he could get away with it.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's okay. I think it's okay, unless he's like a really overprotective parent.
Yeah,
because
I'll tell you, Dead Zone, the Scared Living Daylights out of me, and I watched that when I think I was in. How old is someone in 5th grade?
10.
Yeah, that scared me. And it's only because I had a preconceived idea of what Dragon Ball Z was about. I thought it was a kid show, because it was very edited. But the Dead Zone was like unedited, and my little dumb self was like, that means extra scenes and content. And
let me ask you this: have you ever seen? What movie? And we may bring up our old 80s and 90s stuff. What movie scared the daylight out of me as a kid? It was Gremlins. But people have fond memories of it for some strange reason. And a lot of them were probably 10 and stuff like that.
No, actually, that's true.
So Full Metal Alchemist is nothing compared to that.
And another tangent thing.
Tangent or tangent?
It's interchangeable. What's that?
It's not. My producer says it's not interchangeable.
It's like Scrabble.
And I agree.
Like, do you? Said no. You know what? Also, is a family movie I saw on HBO. Soul Food is a family. It's part of. It says on HBO Max was like family favorite or family together movies, and I was like, Soul Food. Man,
I know all that happens.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But anyways, we will come back to all those good times.
We just went. We derailed so far, but
we're coming right back and stuff. So for our second one, I'm gonna say, and this is for the newbie, and we're sort of working our way up. I know for me, that's kind of how I'm doing. Yu Yu Hakusho.
As a beginner.
Okay.
Well, dude, it probably was a lot of people's first.
And
you never forget your first time.
Number one, the theme song is fire. Like, I feel Smile Bomb. I think anybody who hears that, it definitely, I feel kind of, it has that 80s feel, but it is transcending kind of time a little bit. Like it's not old fashioned. And we've heard intros that are super old fashioned and stuff like that. But so that's the first part for me. I think the story is really easy to get into. Like, honestly, I think the story is easy to get into. I feel like the tropes are kind of, you're starting to get a little bit more into that. I wonder what that means. But I feel with Yu Yu Hakusho, there's a lot more physicality in there. A lot of hitting. You start learning about kind of the embarrassing sort of like red line going over people's face, but you see why the embarrassment is happening. I feel now with kind of newer things, it's a little confusing about why they are so embarrassed half the time. But I feel you can follow it a lot better, and it has you have the tournament arc. It's a lot of action, and so I feel that I would present that to kind of probably a preteen and up. I feel like I would start at preteen and kind of work your way up, and I feel like a lot of it.
I think that one's also a good one for showing you a little bit of Japanese culture.
Yeah.
It's 80s Japanese, but it's showing you the cities in Tokyo.
That's true. Yeah.
And he wears had the delinquent look.
Yeah. Actually, that's true. Yeah. I mean, very sort of very quintessential delinquent style that was
hair,
really big in the 80s. Yeah, absolutely. So Yu Yu Hakusho would be my second one. Again, kind of going a little older and stuff like that, but I feel it's classic. It stands the test of time. It's easy to get into. The characters, you kind of root for them. There's always a character that you're gonna like, and I feel like it's a easy group that you can pick out which one you like. You like Hiei, you like Kurama, you like Kuwabara. You may like the main character, So yeah. What say you, good sir?
I think that.
What the? I'm sorry. I should have played that off. The light went off. I'm sorry. All right. Anyways. Yeah. So, we keep it real on this show, man.
I go back for. I think this would be a good, more of an intermediate, but it would be like, it's like a fun first anime, and that's Gundam Wing. I know it's like, yo, that's kind of like throwing you in there, ripping the Band-Aid off a little bit.
Wait, Gundam Wing?
Gundam Wing.
That's okay. I gotta.
And it's for different reasons.
Well, okay, I definitely want to hear your reason before. Yeah,
It's like I said, I'm not like you're easing them in. I'm like ripping Band-Aid off.
Really?
Okay?
You're like, take
We're
this
going,
and call me in the morning.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think it's enough to where, hey, yo, it's whimsical enough. You got this space colony and all this kind of stuff, and it's like, yo, what is this about? This war. You got these characters that are like these teenage boys, and they all have these crazy backstories, and then you have these mechs that they're piloting, and this war. It's a lot. You have these memorable characters. You got Zex with the mask on. Then, you kind of got a sort of a love story between Hero and Relina, even though he was like, "I'll kill you."
I'll kill you.
But she's like following him around still. I don't know why. But
That was my toxic role model, my male role model.
But it's one of those things where it'd be like, because it was I want to say it was my first. I love mechs, and I think that was one of the ones that got me into it. Like I still don't think Gundam Wing is the best Gundam series, and because I went back and watched Mobile and all that kind of stuff. But I do think it's
G-Fighter.
That's my man. Hey,
Burning
burning fingers. Hey, that journey was amazing.
No,
but
it's really good.
I do think it's one of those. It was one of those ones that's like, I want to see more of what this stuff is. There's more of this,
Yeah, and again, just going back to, like, we already know what Transformers are, and so, like, I feel like it was very sort of mech heavy. Like I mean, most of the Gundams were, but Gundam Wing, especially with Toonami, I think it was people's first exposure to Gundam.
Yeah.
I know it was mine.
And Gundam was one of those series where people die a lot.
Yeah,
like all the Gundams are like that, but it wasn't. They didn't have like violent deaths. Like some Gundam series have violent deaths.
Yeah, they'll like explode, but you don't see the parachute.
But some of them
out.
you do.
Yeah,
and then the early ones, and then there's the later ones. It's like you see blood. And
really?
Yeah.
Because I just remember when they cut into the Gundam, the guy's like,
and it
explodes.
Yeah, that's enough to show you that there's death.
Yeah.
But not like crazy.
But
it shows it brings stakes.
It does, yeah.
So that invests you into the story.
That's true, yeah. So. Now, I know for me, well, what age would you say that's for? That's E for everyone too?
That's 13 and up.
Okay, 13
12,
and up. Okay.
12, 13
okay.
and up, whatever.
Because when I watched it, I wasn't in middle school. I think I was in I was in high school. I was just going into high school.
I was in high school. That was the Toonami block.
Okay.
Then it was sucked for me because that was around the time where we moved, and at the time, the neighborhood that I moved into, like I was a privileged child. I always had cable, so
I never had cable. Man, my dad. Oh no, put my business out there.
So I grew up with cable. I always had cable. So, but when we moved,
the
neighborhood we moved into didn't have, it wasn't going to be ready yet, like whatever. Like it was a new neighborhood. So and then I think at the time we had cable boxes. So we didn't have cable. So that was the time when DirecTV was starting. We had to get a dish, and that was like a whole thing. It took us forever to get out. So anyway, my point was I had to give like a tape to like a friend and like, yo, this Toonami, can you tape whatever this show for me? Yeah. And I could. They were, I forgot. So that was like a thing for a while. Yeah. So like for like the first, I want to say a month or two, I didn't have like cable, and that joint for
a month
for somebody who didn't grow up with it.
I'll tell you. I'm over there like, what's that?
I'm like, I need my cable.
But no, so I knew
I couldn't watch wrestling.
Oh man,
So
I knew people who had cables. I used to go over to their house. But then they would try to come over to my house because we had like all the like really good food and stuff like that. So it was a constant
barter system.
Yeah, but it used to kind of suck because I'm like, no, I want to watch like Dragon Ball Z. I want to watch because like, well, we can go on a different thing on that. But anyways, that's interesting. I definitely don't want to go all the way around.
We want him to go there eventually.
Yeah.
I want to see what he's going to talk.
Eventually, I'll tell you the tales of from a non-cable having person. It was rough out
What's
here in these
that?
streets.
I don't know what that is.
Because we used to have to like try to like it'd be fuzzy. So I used to watch SmackDown on a fuzzy TV because like
I used to watch pay-per-views that way.
oh really? Oh man.
Like until I had my friend who had a scramble. I don't. But you know, on another tangent.
Yes.
Tangent number 4.
There you go. How we looking, producer?
But no, I used to watch pay-per-views that way. But go back. I could go on a tangent about that.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, when I watched Gundam Wing, I must admit I was mad bored with it. The political and things, I was like, yo, this is history class. They be like, you can, and I'm over here sitting there like
robots shooting each other. Like,
no, but they be like, oh, the galactic alliance.
I must admit, I was older.
Yeah,
I was probably 16, 17.
But a lot of kids my age was like, yo, Gundam Wing, man, this is the thing. I mean, they loved it. And I mean, I love the characters. I mean, I really like the characters. Like Hiro Yui, Wu Fang.
They were dubbed by the Ocean Dub group.
The greatest.
The greatest
and Ocean Dub.
English dub voice of all. People hate them, but I love them. But people love them too. So.
On this show, they're the greatest.
There is no Ocean Dub slander on this show.
No, absolutely not. You will be removed from the
scored
chat room.
Escorted out.
Some people don't know about chat rooms. Man.
Speaking of which, my first online name.
Oh, snap.
On Yahoo.
We going. Okay, man. I don't even.
I had two accounts. One was
Demon Blade 47.
One was Ranma _ my zip code.
Oh wow.
And the other one was duo _ the _ god _ of death, which was duo Maxwell from Gundam Wing.
Yes, absolutely.
His actually in that's how deep a rabbit hole I went in the English version. He called himself the Great Destroyer, right?
Yeah.
But in the you didn't even get a lot of lore backstory. That's when you go on the internet and you find out in the Japanese version he called himself the Shinigami, which is translated to Soul Reaver, God of Death, whatever.
I didn't know that. That's a hard name.
Well, that's what they call them in Bleach. They call them
yeah.
Soul Reapers, whatever. But he called himself the God of. Some people called himself the God of Death because when he was because his Death Scythe Gundam, which I have. Yeah, I have two Death Scythes. I do Gunpla, model kits. One is actually painted the red, white, and blue colors of the original. You know, all the main Gundams that are painted that way. But anyway,
speaking of Gundam, check that.
Yeah,
out.
check that out.
Yeah. I get that. But yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. I'm just saying that like. It just brought me back in chat rooms. You said people don't know what chat rooms is like. That was that was my first chat. That and AO Instant Messenger, which was Lone Wolf 0000.
Oh my god,
that was my first chat room name.
So I only remember a chat room that I used to go in one time, and it was kind of well, not one time, a bunch of times, and it was kind of embarrassing when your.
So how old are you?
We gotta. Oh man, there's so many things because. Well, let me just say the name. And we'll come back. It was called Temple O Trunks, and it was. Oh my goodness!
It was an anime.
It was an anime. It was a Dragon Ball Z like chat room and stuff like that. So you'd go in there and you type in like, "Hey, I'm here," and it'd be like, "So and so sees so and so and cries."
Yeah.
You know?
That RP. The RP.
Yeah. We'll do a whole episode. Y'all don't know.
It's so embarrassing because when I was dual the God of Death.
Yes.
I was like, I'm a massive anime fan, I'm a massive like wrestling fan. So I was like, jumps in Gundams, comes out, stuns everybody, chokes, slams. I'm doing anime stuff and wrestling stuff at the same time.
Some people were like, "Leave us alone. Why are you doing this?" Yeah. It was a wild time. Wild boys over here.
We were some wild ones out here in the chat rooms, RPing with everybody, showing people who's the boss.
I'll tell you. And speaking of wild boys, NWO at this time was pretty big, so everybody's
too sweet in NWO. So what we got? We got would you Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yes.
I say Brotherhood, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Yeah. I say Gun the Wing, and you also say
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah. So we back to you. Number 3, intro.
So number 3, intro, and this is kind of for an older generation. I would say maybe like either my age and a little bit older. I would say Sword Art Online. Yeah. Hear me out. Again, hit the comments, send all these things. So hear me out. I feel like this story is so like point blank. It is so simple to get into. It from the first episode, it tells you what it's about, and you just enjoy the ride. The reason why I say for older people is because I feel this is a semi-new anime. So if you want to connect, if you want to kind of get your sort of dip your toe in the new generation of anime, I feel this is the perfect anime for newbies who are a little bit older. I mean, you know, preteens, teens can watch it too. I personally like Sword Art Online. I think it's a really good series.
I watched it up until
it's better
Gun
than
Gale.
Yes. Oh yeah. No.
Which was like the 3rd season.
Yeah, I must admit, I kind of fell off after after the original Sword Art Online, because it lost that it. So
it was lost a little newness to it, or is that?
Yeah, it lost its what is that word? It lost its stakes. Yes, thank you, producer. Yeah, see you. Jump on in. But it also lost its Have
you seen Log Horizon?
Say it again?
Log Horizon.
No. Oh yes, the guy with the glasses.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but
I only watched a little bit of it.
Okay, because I meant to get it because I know I actually plan on going back to Sword Art Online and watching the other ones, or at least reading the light novels.
Yeah.
I just had gotten busy watching other stuff, and then kind of like, you know how that happens. But I like Sword Art, especially the first one, because the stakes they were probably at their highest. Then.
Yes. So I was gonna say state of urgency.
Yeah.
The moment you can jump back into the game and into the real world, you lost the sort of urgency or the stakes. Like for me, you lost that. I felt that way about the original Digimon. Once they were able to jump back from the real world, now the Generation 1 Digimon,
they were trapped in there.
Yeah, they were trapped in there. And then when they came, my opinion, when the Digimon started coming to the real world, that was Endgame before Endgame. Like, honestly, when the Digimon started coming to the real world, you felt like the stakes were super, super high. We're going to do honorable mentions. I don't even know. Listen. What you say? But scratch all that. Forget it. But Sword Art Online, I feel it's a great entryway. It's a great entry drug. Like for, I don't want to say, for older generations. Tropes are there, but they're a little bit, again, it's a learning thing. So what say you?
What say I? I'm gonna say Rurouni Kenshin.
For starter?
Because it's actually very safe. And it's not. He's a samurai, so you get that Japanese stuff. It's not like Afro Samurai. He slices people's arms off and all that kind of stuff. But
I feel it has a sweet message to it.
Yeah, and he's using a reverse blade sword. He's not killing people.
It's true.
And he's like, he does that which is in Japanese, and he's in the English version. So he's it's that comedic stuff. It's in Japan. It's in a period piece. It gives you a little bit of a history lesson with the Meiji period and Meiji Restoration and stuff like that.
That history lesson I like because
they have a cast of colorful characters. You have Kenshin himself, who's cool. You got like Sanosuke, who's like cool, and then you have like Aoshi Shinomori. Which is he was the leader. He had the Kodachi. You ever seen it? I'll tell you this. Watch the live action movies. They were on Netflix. A lot of anime transition to live action are terrible. But that trilogy, they basically took all the best parts of the anime itself, which was the first arc, the Kyoto arc and then kind of the end.
Yeah.
And made those. They took and the OVAs.
Oh, yeah,
the OVAs
yeah.
now those are really good too.
OVAs are really good.
They're a lot darker.
Yeah. The X one. I remember
Samurai
that,
X.
yeah.
The only problem I have with that is, and it worked out only for the fact that Kenshin was younger.
Yeah.
Because Media Blasters had the rights to Rurouni Kenshin, but ADV had the rights to Samurai X. So
I always thought they were different. I guess that was the whole kind of. I always thought they were different. I didn't know they were actually connected until I got a little older.
yeah, that was just his past, and
gotcha.
so it had a different cast because
Yeah.
they were like under different
Yeah.
voiceover artists.
Because instead of saying like Rurouni Kenshin, they called it Samurai X.
Because of the rights, yeah.
So
So-
that's interesting.
Yeah,
That's really
and
good.
but the problem with that is I think they had a ADV also had the rights to one of the movies, and because of that they used a different cast for all the same characters you knew
Yeah.
from the Media Blasters version, and then you had when they did the Samurai X movie, it was like they were different voiceover artists, so even pronunciation is different. Like most people now, like when you hear characters with the Usuke kind of name, like Sanosuke, Sasuke, it's second nature to people now how to pronounce it. But I think ADV when they did Sanosuke, it was Sanosuke, and it was just like,
you're right.
but that was me watching it dubbed. Though.
Oh my
So
goodness!
I was just kind of
I know, but that's sort of. I mean, that shaped a whole generation of people saying, Sonosuke. Like, yeah.
Sasuke.
That's interesting. Yeah, because like for a while, I felt like the trend of like people connect, not connecting, but correcting folks of like it's Naruto, like not
God.
Naruto. It's Naruto.
Yo, the funny thing happened to me.
not
This was
Goku,
maybe about
Son Goku.
This was maybe like this maybe like 2 years ago. A friend of mine was like, "Yo, yeah, I got this." My friend's wife was like, "Yo, I got this, friend. She put me on anime, and she's like young, like 20s, whatever. That's young to me. So, and like she's super into anime, blah 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 blah. And I was like, I met her in a meeting or whatever. Because everybody was over, or whatever, and I was talking about like, I was like Naruto, or whatever. I said Naruto in a regular. Don't you mean like Naruto? And I was like, I want to be like, yo, I've seen more anime than
like,
you have.
You gotta roll the tongues. It's Naruto.
Naruto. I'm like, yo, don't try to gatekeep.
I know.
Yo.
No, it.
Well, I was actually trying to gatekeep.
Yeah,
but
no.
Well, I wasn't, but I was just trying to say, yo, you can't correct me. I know more than.
Yeah.
I've been watching anime before you was born.
This is true, and again, accents play a big part in that. Like but it was. Kids, it was a war zone back in the day. You said manga, people be like, it's manga, not manga. Like, and it was, we're gonna have to talk about
Japanimation. I'm trying to bring that back.
Yeah, one of the topics we should talk about a little bit later, like in future episodes, is like, what is the, what was the battleground for? And just to talk a little bit about it, I think everybody thought they found something personal to them, like they discovered something on their own, and so they felt there was an ownership to it. Like, we'll get into that.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
But the Ronin Kenshin thing. Interesting choice for news.
He said about all my choices.
Yeah, I was about to say no, because and one thing I did like about Ronin Kenshin, and I would say maybe for like kind of like teens. I would agree with that.
Yeah. It was on. That was an easy one because it was on Cartoon Network for a little bit.
Yeah. No, that's true. One thing
I did a layup.
I feel one thing I feel like I really miss about older and I'm not saying that like all old anime had this, but with Ronin Kenshin, there's a trope out there where the main character is so gentle and so kind. When he snaps and be like, "I'll kill you." I was watching a recent anime, and the main character, very lovable, kind of said that, like, "Oh, I'll kill you," after making kind of a declaration that he wouldn't kill anybody, and you'll probably figure out who it is. But I did not believe him when he said, "I will kill you." Now, when Ronin Kenshin says, "I will kill you," I believed it because you had this history of him. He was the manslayer. And for him to have
the manslayer.
Yeah, and for him to have the reverse blade, he went a bit further of saying, you know, I can't kill anybody with this thing and stuff like that, even though he could. But like
he could even flip the blade.
Yeah, but that like that's a trope that I feel a lot of people kind of do, and certain things I'm really not feeling. But
which trope?
The tropes of the fun-loving character, you know, be like, I want to help everybody, or I want to save everybody.
No, it is.
And then when they say like, I'm gonna kill you, and they're like, oh, he's really upset. Like,
but I'm not even seeing that. I'm seeing they're trying to hold on to dear life.
Yeah.
Before they even get to that moment, I rarely even see that now.
Oh no, because I mean I feel like and again in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong, but even with Deku, like I feel like he could lose it and be like, I'll kill you. And people be like, "Oh, Deku's about to go ham."
I don't believe it.
Like I'm just,
I like Deku, but he's of the generation of him. Was it? Oh my god, I'm losing names now.
I'm just gonna say it. Jujutsu Kaisen, the main character, he said it. He was like, "I'll kill you."
I believe him, though.
I don't. Well, I do, but it's not okay. Not I don't believe it. It's just it's not. I'm like, sure. Okay.
That's because you come from the school of Baki, where they be doing that, right? They be ripping people's veins out. Or Kenshiro.
Yeah.
Omae wa shinderu.
Yeah, no,
you
that's
are already dead.
Yeah. But with Ronin Kenshin, you felt you were like, no, Ronin Kenshin, don't throw away your humanity. Like,
I was always waiting for him to do it.
But and so and
he wasn't my favorite character.
No, but
Hajime Saito, his rival from I have a love for the Shinsengumi.
That's true. But even when he went into that mode of like angry, you were like, oh, snap.
You knew it was real. You knew it was about to go down. Yeah.
But anyways, that was a tangent.
See, my picks get us to go to these tangents because we have so much information.
My stuff is
you got
Kiki's
delivery service.
He had to give up on that. He was like, man, I can't trust that. That's crazy. But those were really good. The next, so
I'm gonna honorable mention real quick for that one. Just not I won't even say honorable mention, but a lot of Studio Ghibli's I think are a really good entry point.
Yeah,
I would have picked Princess Mononoke if I was to do it, just because I felt like that was more
poor children.
But it wasn't that bad. Or you know what I would have picked? I would have picked Howl's Moving Castle.
Okay.
A lot of girls have watched that. A lot of girls I've known and watched it, and they're like in love. It's like a romance thing for them, and they love how. And Christian Bale actually does the dub voice.
The voice.
Yeah, most people didn't know that.
Yeah, they get.
No, this is before he was Batman.
Listen,
this is before
They had celebrities doing those voices. Yeah, like seriously, and we'll definitely mention some at the end of the show or something like that.
If we remember.
If we remember. I'm telling you.
Or we can Google it.
I'm over here rubbing the forehead.
All right.
But yeah, so do you want to kick off the second entry?
I will kick off the second. I'm going to go I'm ripping the Band-Aid off. I'm going gut punches. I'm going uppercuts.
And just to remind people what the second entry is intermediate. Right. These are, how would you classify that? Just real quick.
I would classify it as somebody you've been watching anime for, you've had some series under your belts. You have watched more than one.
Yeah.
You've watched at least 5 maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
And you kind of get what the tropes are and what you're kind of watching. And now you're trying to watch something real. That's really getting into it. It could be borderline expert, but like something that's a little bit safe.
You know what? I'm really loving this conversation, seriously, because like that's interesting about intermediate, because I was thinking casual watcher or a person who's maybe stepped away from it from their childhood and getting back into it again, or like just a casual watcher. Like no. No,
that's a beginner though.
Really?
Well, you might be right.
Yeah, intermediate. Wait a minute. Well, okay, a casual watcher of like I dabble. I've heard of Goku. Okay. Or a person who's like, yeah, I watched Pokemon. But it's been a while and stuff like
beginner.
that. No. They kind of like what you said. They've watched more than 5, but they're a casual consumer. And maybe we can combine the definition, because the whole of looking for something a little bit more than just these sort of newbie or basic kind of things. Not
well. Let
basic,
you go first, because he's obviously picking a softball, guys. So he's lobbing one. I'm just going pitching it. I'm giving you a curveball.
Listen, I'm speaking it, and it's actually really cool that we're both speaking from our experience. Like, you know, I'm coming from like I was scared.
Well,
like,
yeah,
it shocked me. I mean, it was ripping some
it shocked
Band-Aids
me too,
off.
but that's how we both kind of got into it. But I'm a little older than you, so maybe I was just a little bit more prepared. And because all my years of watching cable, so
dang. Like, you gotta look into the camera. Gotta put the little teardrop right there. Yeah, actually, definitely that, because I was like, what is this? And especially like in the 90s, we were like more. And it's like, okay, so I guess I'll kick it. Yeah, I'll kick it.
You
off.
go first.
So, Samurai Champloo. Samurai Champloo.
We didn't say this in the beginning though. We tried to avoid Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z,
Yes.
and like stuff like Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
We tried to avoid those ones, but Samurai Champloo is a really good choice.
I feel
That's a good choice.
Yeah, I feel like if you stepped away from anime for a little bit, but you know about anime, you're a casual consumer, I feel like this will get you back into why you loved anime. It's kind of what I kind of feel both of us. It's pure fun. It's fantasy. It's an adventure.
Yeah.
It's hyper emotion. Like for me, these characters, you want to travel with them, like, and you travel with them, and you kind of, you know, you laugh with them, you cry with them, and at the end, I'm not going to spoil it, it was just like, man, this is such a good series. And I feel like the music kind of, again, gets you into it, where it's not like, what's this weird cartoon thing? You're like, oh man, this is crazy. So
You would have thought I would have thought that you would have picked that. I didn't even think that you would have. But one of the first when we met, he was selling
Samurai. Oh, absolutely.
He was selling Samurai.
This was the good old days.
And we tried to. I figured. I don't know if you didn't, because I didn't put Outlaws on my list either. But because I feel like that was a given. Like we both love it. But I don't know if that would have been. That's an intermediate, I would say.
Yeah.
Well, you think that's expert?
What? Wait, man, you giving away my stuff?
I'm
man.
sorry. I'm sorry.
I mean, nah, I didn't put that. What's going on, man? No, man.
But you know, Samurai
let me
Champloo.
delete.
Samurai Champloo's. You gotta dig deeper, boy.
Well, listen. No, go ahead. I will explain certain things.
All right, so my version intermediate, you do have a little bit under your belt, but I'm like, if I'm trying to explain something to you and I'm like, yo, you should watch this, you're gonna be kind of prepared for it. And that is Death Note. Which I feel like is wild enough. Now that could be considered expert level, like somebody's been watching it. I would also honorable mention that with Code Geass, because that's kind of like similar in that sense. I have a special love for it.
Okay.
Like, they were both kind of on at the same time, and with these crazy protagonists that are like kind of evil. And they both have evil laughs. There was even doing a laugh off people splicing together on YouTube. And like having them, they both had like evil laughs. Like I love Lelouch, like that's my guy. I'm not a really big. I wanted L to beat Light, and I wanted to see him fail, but it was kind of awesome seeing him win in Death Note. But with Lelouch, I wanted him to win, like because he was actually a good guy, but he just did crazy things to win.
Gotcha.
First season is definitely really, really good. I think they didn't know they was gonna be renewed, so they did the second season, kind of rushed it, but it's still really good. I have the whole series on Blu-ray.
Okay.
But I would say, definitely Death Note. Death Note is some of those things I can tell somebody who's been watching for a little while. I've even sidestepped the beginner phase with certain people that I know don't necessarily watch anime, and they were like, hey, I'm like, yo, you need to watch this Death Note. Like, you may not watch anime, but watch this Death Note because it's wild. Like, and it might get, and I know some people are like, well, I'll watch the live action Netflix. I'm like, no.
No.
Watch this anime. You may not like anime or whatever, but just watch this, and it's a good experience. It's crazy.
No, Death Note. I totally agree with you on that, because again, like, I feel like you already know the tropes. You already kind of know the style of things. It's just kind of bringing you something, a little bit deeper. So no, I definitely would agree with that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun you said about that, because I feel like Death Note keeps you entertained. And like there's a mystery keep going on. And we didn't plan this, but this actually worked out really good. My second choice is Golden Kamuy. And I chose that for that reason of it's gonna keep you love you too.
He loves the producer. That's weird.
Anyways, I'm sorry. It keeps you interested, like, because you want to know what this mystery is and stuff like that. So and for a casual watcher, and for me, we're both talking from our point of view, and our sometimes if you've seen one, you kind of see them all, and you're trying to find something that's going to get you back into it. So Death Note, Golden Kamuy, I think has that sort of thing that you want to sit there and watch, because it's very talk heavy, especially Death Note. So sometimes it can kind of, if you're used to fighting and all this other stuff, sitting there and listening to someone talk. Fate Stay Night, dude. I was like, yo, like, I'm looking.
Fate Stay Night is a lot, but I like Fate Stay Night.
No, it's not bad.
It's beautiful.
It's very nice, but I just know, I was like, man, they talk, like, and it was this one episode.
I'm starting to feel that you don't like a lot of information being thrown.
I don't. I'm listen.
When they gonna fight?
I know exactly.
It's funny. I have a friend who'll be on the show. And when I was trying to get him to watch some animes, and he was like, I'm trying to show him, they're like talking. He's like, when they gonna fight?
Yeah.
No, like, bro, you gotta foreshadowing and all this.
Forget that mess.
You say all that, but yet Gogo Ganji itself has a lot of great dialogue and very interesting stuff. A little segue in that.
It's literature at its best. I like, but that's why with Death Note, that's a lot of information.
It is.
I watched that all day long. Golden Kamuy, yeah. So it's certain things that moves the story along. But if I know the premise, I don't want to be told so many times that this is happening. I'm like, no, I get it. But if you're moving the story along with talking, I'm like, I'm really into this and stuff like that. So Golden Kamuy, mystery, you get invested in it. It's funny. Oh my goodness, it's super funny. Like, I feel it hits all the notes of like funny, mystery, serious, drama. The main character is crazy. Like, he's I forget his name, but he has a I'm in the comments, please don't come at me like this, but it starts with an S, because he was like, I'm the immortal not Sakamoto.
Not getting into that.
Oh man. y'all know what I'm talking about. Actually, let me go to the Google.
You should have been doing that while you was thinking. You should have been
You're right. Let me
scratch my arm for a second.
I'll tell you. Sugimoto.
Of course,
yeah. Of course, the immortal Sugimoto. Don't come for me for that pronunciation.
The only reason why I didn't know, because I'm encyclopedia. I haven't watched Golden Kamuy yet. I will.
Oh, you gotta check
because
it out.
of this list.
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
Yes. That's
so
good.
There's like I said, there's a lot of anime out there. I'm right now on this swords and bows and arrows kick. So this is what's on the forefront of my mind. I like stuff like with swords and all that kind of stuff, like Arslan. But I'm gonna pick Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga is a Viking epic, and it's beautifully animated. I've been reading the manga. I'm still reading the manga currently. And it's basically a story that it's like you've already known kind of the tropes, but this kind of does away with a lot of the tropes. It's just straight up like a story with a Western style story, but it has that action that's very animated, from the stuff that you would expect, from an anime. Have you ever seen it at all?
No, I haven't.
So it's about it's a story of a young man who is a young Viking, and Vinland is actually it's like the area in North America, kind of like between Canada, as far as it's where I guess Eric the Red had landed. It's a little historical.
Yeah.
And so it's basically him trying to get to that place. So like it's like a paradise.
Okay.
But he loses his father at a very young age and becomes like this violent child who's dragged into this trope because this tribe. If you want to say like if you want to put in like those type of stories like Blade of the Immortal, Berserk, Vinland Saga, like all of those kind of Vagabond, all of those kind of like swords. Like that's when I'm in my head right now. I'm watching Arslan right now, which is from the creator of Fullmetal Alchemist, and it's a period piece too, and they have swords and all that kind of stuff. So Vinland Saga is like really. My father, like, I have a Plex server and I have it on my server, so people can watch it from anybody's house. My brother has it, so they can log into the account and start watching it. Yeah. And my father don't watch anime, but he was like watching that joint. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, and he's into it because it's easy to follow. Because like it's like you've seen Vikings. There's like 30,000 shows about Vikings on Netflix and History Channel. Like Vikings, there's a show called Vikings.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is pretty good. Yeah. And there's The Last Kingdom, and all this stuff is kind of in that vein of that kind of stuff. So it's a really good story.
Okay.
So, but
no, I'll definitely check it out because I mean, I've heard nothing but good things about it, so I definitely want to check that out. So yeah.
And if people didn't like my description of Vinland Saga, because I felt like I was, brain farting, come see these hands eat, ready for everyone.
Snap! Listen, at Pop Gen Fusion, we don't wait. Listen, now if you disrespect Yamcha and you don't like you don't like Ocean Doves, then you got to see these hands. Like
ready for everyone.
So, all right, last one for the intermediate.
Was this expert? Was that?
This was intermediate. This is the last one for the intermediate.
So here we are.
So I would say,
was that my last one? How many did I do?
No. You got one more.
I got
one. Junie Tyson.
Jujutsu.
No.
Junie Tyson. Oh, Junie Tyson. You said absolutely.
No. Listen. Now, if I'm mispronouncing that, it's Zodiac Wars.
Now that joint's wild.
It is.
I would feel like that would be on your expert list.
Well, no, we got. Oh man, you're jumping the gun, man. No, I would say this is the intermediate. It's it'll get you back into it. It's mindless action, but it's gonna bring something new. It's very familiar, fighting, all that other stuff, tournaments, but I feel it breaks the rules. If you have not seen it, I will not spoil it. It breaks the rules, and it breaks it magnificently. It knows the rules. That's the crazy bit about it. And on this show, we're all about rules, and if you know the rules, I don't know.
I don't know where you're going. Do we break the rules or do we follow the rules? Do we follow the rules?
You need to know the rules in order to break the rules.
Okay. Recovery.
Yeah. Oh no, listen, I say this all the time. Knowing the rules is a lot easier. You can innovate, you can do all this other stuff. So if you know the rules, you can break the rules. And I feel Junie Tyson or Zodiac Wars is just that perfect thing to get you back in there. Yeah. Have you seen it?
I've seen it. It's wild.
It's wild, but like it does so many things that you feel you figured it out, and then you find out you haven't figured it out, and actually you kind of feel bad that you're like, oh my goodness, like why did this happen? So it's definitely check it out, and I yeah.
Okay.
Listen, Junie Tyson, call me.
So that's what it breaks the rules, and it kind of gives you kind of you're looking for that, like you said before. Once you've seen a lot of them, you kind of feel like you've seen they follow sort of a guideline.
Absolutely.
And that one kind of throws you.
That one throws it, but it keeps it's familiar. It's like oh, this is a fighting thing. Cool. Oh snap! That person lost. Wait a minute. I didn't know. Wait, then who am I supposed to? And then you find someone else, and you're like, yeah, this is definitely the one. And then something happens, and you're like, this is blowing my mind. seriously, you will binge it. It's not that long. It is perfect. It is weird, but I feel like that's what anime is kind of known for being really out there. Not on some perversion, but just it plays with a lot of ideas. And I think, you know, for me and for you, I would say that's what sort of drew us in. It brought something different. It brought, you know, it brought something different. And I feel like with Zodiac Wars, it definitely brings something different. So you look bored. Listen,
I'm really trying to analyze what you're saying. Like,
I'm just, dude. We are gonna do a watch party one of these days of this stuff, and we'll see if we can make it happen. So
okay, all right. I'm down.
So what's your last one for the intermediate?
My last one for the intermediate. This is gonna sound weird, but I feel like everyone should watch it once. Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Nah, it's trash. Actually, no, let me not say that, because we're gonna be like, what? No, skip that one. Skip that one. Tell me why. Tell me why.
Look, first of all,
tell me why.
First of all, it has one of the most boppiest intros of all time.
It really don't.
It really what?
No,
what?
Okay, controversy number 10.
What?
Listen. That's
you
some
cannot
old,
like
that is some old time music.
You cannot like it, but you cannot go on. Cruel Angel Thesis is one of the best intro songs of all time. What?
What's his name? What is it?
Cruel Angel Thesis. A Thesis of a Cruel Angel.
I did not know the name of it, but that.
Oh my God! You love Smile Bomb, which is old timey, but you going on Cruel Angel Thesis?
But we both agree, Smile Bomb transcends time. That thing is stuck in. Stuck in.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. Listen. All due respect.
It sounds like you have none.
I know.
It sounds like you have no respect.
It's like one of those things where it's like, all due respect. It sucks. You're like,
you say all due respect before you just cry.
They're like, no disrespect. I'm about to punch you. No disrespect. It's like, wait, what?
Nah, I could. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but the anime itself is not everyone's cup of tea. I get that, but how dare you go on Cruel Angel Thesis? But whatever.
I'm
whatever.
Sorry. Again, in the comments.
No, if y'all in the comments say that joint's trash, then y'all don't even leave a comment.
Welcome to podcast.
Don't even leave a comment.
You'll be welcome with open arms.
This isn't one of those like oh, everyone has their own opinion. No, that joint. No, that's whack.
There's 3 rules in Pop J.
It's a bop.
You must like Yamcha. You must like Ocean Dub. And you cannot
you must like no, see, but as an anime, right, when I first got into, when I was getting into anime, I think I might have been in middle school, I think, when I saw Neon Genesis, either that or like 9th grade. It was early, and like I said, it's wild, but it was one of those things that showed you, like, it was this really interesting version of Tokyo where it was kind of like now, but kind of like it was kind of destroyed too. Like they had a third lake or something like that because the meteor hit it. Mm-hmm. Like the whole idea, like Shinji living on his own, like you get to see that trope of like the kids living on their own and then living sort of like adults. Mm-hmm. But it was like it was intriguing to watch. It was to see the culture like that. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, because it was wild, like seeing like all the stuff that's happening. I never really felt like I understood what the angels were and all that kind of stuff. That's stuff that came later. But I still will hold it up as like I'm glad I seen it. It's not like one of my favorites all the time, but I love mechs and I did like the story. Like, I mean, I like where it was taking me, and I guess until it took me there. But I'm glad that it was part of my growing up in anime.
Gotcha.
And I guess I would say, if you gotta like if you're in if you're an intermediate, I'm like, yo, just watch it.
I got you. Okay.
That's how I feel about it.
Okay.
And Thesis of Crew Angel. Crew Angel Thesis was one of the first songs I put on an MP3 player. So,
Oh, really?
Yes, one of the first anime songs that was on that we downloaded and was like, yo,
This is the truth. Really?
yes,
That one?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Man.
What? We doing like a top 10.
We will. Yes,
Which
we
is
will.
gonna be impossibly hard.
We will. We do that. But yeah, that
Oh my god.
that little. Nah,
I thought we were friends.
I know we are. Just listen, man. That's some like okay, and I'll tell you what it is. I got gypped at Blockbuster. Now, if you guys don't know about Blockbuster or all this other stuff about Hollywood video, I got gypped, and you know the video I got gypped on was
Really?
and I'll tell you why. Here, my innocent self thinking I'm about to go home and watch a basic mech anime. I get it home and I'm like, what is this? Again, that song came on and I was like,
I don't understand.
and then like, you know, Shinji's like, I don't want to do it. And I'm like, what are you
He was
what
one
are
of the
you
first
doing?
I don't want to do it protagonist. Yeah.
And again, you know, it actually broke the rules a little bit. You know, because most people be like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
It was like, you know,
he was the first
he was
before
the first.
before Yugi and all those
That's
other
true.
you
Yeah.
know, wimpy protagonists. You know, like all them wimpy now, but they like wimpy got powers and they could fight now.
Be like my friends.
My friends.
But yeah, no, not interesting. Interesting. Okay, yeah, nah.
We're side at each other when you're watching the final season of Pop Gen.
It's like when the camera cuts off and both people are like, and they don't cut the camera. They don't cut the camera too soon. You see, they're like, "It's a bug," and they like, no, listen, we'll work this out. Man. Don't even
We
worry.
still love Yamcha together.
Yeah,
so it's all right.
exactly. That's what keeps us together. The house that loves Yamcha stays together.
The love of Yamcha trumps all.
This is true. Listen. Okay, so we're gonna go on to our last category.
Yeah.
It is the expert. How would you describe expert?
I mean, that you're an anime fan at this point, and
Okay.
it's just now about being put on to something that you just need to watch.
I like that. Yes, I like that. Okay. Did you want to start this one off? Because I agree with that.
I'm gonna do a kid gloves with this one. It's gonna be like really, but I'm gonna start off with Food Wars.
Food Wars?
Yeah, I love Food Wars. It's like something you kind of gotta watch as a fan already, because then it's like all that weird, like when they eat good food. When they eat food, they kind of like sort of strip almost. So it's kind of like if you're kind of uncomfortable with that at first, like, like what is this weirdness?
Yeah.
But it's a shonen story, but it's different, and it's
That's true.
and you start to kind of root for like every character.
Gotcha.
Like every character.
What age are you going for?
Yeah.
And again, not even for like you know, not for the appropriateness, but I'm talking about what generation.
It is a newer anime, obviously, but it has a concise story to it. It doesn't take you on this long journey too much. It's like, I'm not here for a long time, I'm here for a good time.
Gotcha.
You know,
Some old Southern nonsense. I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time.
I forgot how the saying goes. I said it wrong.
No, that's I don't know. That was good.
But
I'm not here for a long time. That's when you gotta stare at the camera.
yeah, I'm not here for a long time. I'm just here for a good time. I'm here for a good time.
They were like,
Teeth sparkle.
there you go. Bing. Oh my goodness, that's good. That's right up there with like I don't turn nothing down but my collar. I'm sorry. Anyways, listen. Okay, I know that makes sense. I'm sorry. Okay, mine would have to be, and again, you kind of spoiled it a little bit. Outlaw Star.
Of course.
And the reason why I say Outlaw Star is it has rewatchability to it. Again, as if you, let's say, and it kind of teeters on that kind of generation and stuff like that. I feel like kind of the early 2000, 1999 is kind of like in that middle of like if you were like, you know, an 80s person and stuff like that, and you were sort of like watching the older stuff, I feel like it's still in that sort of genre of like adventure and all this other stuff. If you're younger, you can always go back and kind of look at some of this stuff that's not ancient, because sometimes there's certain animes that don't really age too well as far as the humor that we have now. And not saying that the humor is bad, but some things either just don't translate too well and stuff like that, or some people may find the story pacing a little boring or a little bit kind of too slow and stuff like that. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just it's how you kind of grow up, but I feel Outlaw Star has rewatchability to it. It's like fun. I didn't want to put Cowboy Bebop just because I feel like that's up there with, which I don't know why Outlaw Star is not up there with its contemporaries of like classic, because Outlaw Star was on Toonami with Cowboy Bebop, it was,
and then no one talks about Outlaw Star.
No one talks about Big O, and that was up there, on the same kind of like time slot. So I would say I'm Outlaw Star, and I would definitely do it for maybe I would do it for a younger generation. I would do it for someone who is into kind of like, just kind of newer stuff. I'd be like, hey, check this out. It's not too old. It's not going to be like, man, this is some boomer stuff. I'd be like, I don't know. But yeah, so second one for you.
Bo. No, I'm joking, but
definitely. Oh, I remember that one. Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I think this could be an intermediate too, but I think it's like one of those. If you're a fan, you should kind of watch it, and that's Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2040, the remake version of it.
Okay, man. Why that in particular?
Because I think it's a staple of like those mech series from back in the day. It's something classic, but that remake came out probably like early 2000s, so it's older, but it gives you that like sci-fi newness to it. It kind of tells like a really complete story.
Gotcha.
And it kind of gets real too. Like as a I think in the dub, that's one of the first ones I heard kind of casually but like real quickly drop an F-bomb. And then it was like they used one, and then but it was used, I thought, properly, because it wasn't cussing for the sake of cussing. It kind of I liked when back in the day when they used cuss word, especially the D and the A word, and they used it and it felt like it gave it in certain pockets. Not like we're just excessively doing it. But it made that, oh snap, the person's dying now. Or they're really mad now.
And I definitely think like, the time it was made, like people like, and especially in this time, like people were really trying to make like really relevant things in anime. Like they wanted it to be a movie. They wanted it to be like, something that people take seriously. So real consequences, real language, you know. So it definitely wasn't this thing. Not saying now, but I think today's medium it's kind of going back a little bit to that sort of fantasy and stuff like that.
That's another series that has a good intro and outro. And then one 2 songs I also had like on my iPod, like iPod Generation 1. Nano out here. I had a brick.
Man, I didn't rent this one when I was younger, but my brother was a big Bubblegum Crisis.
The OG one.
Yeah, the OG.
I have the OG one too.
Yeah, they're not bad. I never really got into it. But I remember seeing this and I was like, oh, that looks pretty interesting.
I think they had music videos for like the first one, like Tanya Hurricane. I think that was one of the songs on there.
Oh yeah.
At one point, my friends, we got heavy into like J-Rock, J-Pop. Like they got into it even heavier than I did, and they was like importing. When the drink costs $100 for an EP, man, like 3 songs on that drink. Yeah, you paying $100 for importing.
Man, it's.
And my friend Craig, he even got like, he ordered this. I forgot the brand, but it was a DVD player region. The region lock to play Japanese stuff, and you just get. I remember that. Yeah. I learned later I would make copies. I would get a CD and I would burn it into a region-free CD, so I could keep the CD, but I didn't have to play the original in my DVD player, because I ain't ordering no no special one. I was taught. My friend Justin told me how to rip stuff, and that's when I started my early pirate days. But I'm retired now.
It's like I'm a retired pirate.
I'm a retired pirate.
No, I am not tech savvy, so I wish I could pirate some stuff. I was the one with the video camera. Oh man. So Bubblegum Crisis, I would have to say Video Girl Eye.
Oh wow.
I would have to say that. And the reason why I would say it, and not just for younger generation, but also for older generation, I feel like that does not get a lot of credit. Like, it's a classic.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, it will make you feel. It is a romance, but it's not like something that you can guess. Like, and especially the OVA. OVA will make you like, you think you know where this is going, and it just, again, it flips it on your head where you're like, dude, I gotta finish this. And it's pretty deep. And I feel like if you're an older person or an older expert, anime watcher, this is probably one of the things that you probably maybe skipped over because you're like, oh, Video Girl, I know what that is. And then if you're a younger one, you would definitely be like, oh, like, let me check that out. It's I think it's aged well. It was like, the 90s, late 80s, early 90s, I believe. I could be wrong, but it's definitely a lot older. So I would say that, yeah.
That's wow. That's not what I thought was coming.
Dude, I was.
That's what's that series experiment to go Lane?
Yeah.
That's like
yeah.
I just remember the cover of that one. That one looks dark.
That one isn't bad. I must admit, it's talk heavy.
Yeah.
I don't think.
And we know how much Pandy doesn't like talking.
No, but I will say this: for not a lot of reward. A lot of it is very. It's what's your interpretation of it. Like, that's what it is. Same thing with Perfect Blue.
Oh my God.
What?
No, I'm just thinking. No, I'm just thinking of those interpretation stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
It's sort of
just
like,
tell me what happened.
Just tell me what's happening. Like, and especially, I feel Perfect Blue kind of tried to do that, or did it better.
Yeah.
But Experiment Lane, that one just was like. They did not finish their sentence. They'd be like, huh? I feel like, And they'd be like, exactly. Like, what? And then they'll show like a red light blinking, and you're like, what am I watching? But because anime, it was divided into two sections, like the kid stuff and the hard stuff.
Yeah.
And that was kind of, you probably know this, that was considered the hard stuff.
Yeah.
Of like, man, it's talking about the net, it's talking about connections,
Yeah.
it's talking about all this sort of like, just sort of like deep stuff. And so like, I feel a lot of people accepted some of the stuff without, and then you talk to the director and they're like, I don't know what I was trying to say.
That's what happened with the Neon Genesis.
Yeah, exactly.
Kinda.
And same thing with oh man, we'll do some honorable mentions, but there's another one where they talked to the director and he was like, I don't know what I was trying to say back in those days. So yeah. But Video Girl Eye, it is a classic. It is easy to get into, and if you it's a must. It's a must watch.
Okay.
So yeah. So last one for the.
Okay, so a lot of stuff that can be considered entry level can also be expert level in a way. It's something that maybe you feel like at this point it can get you into the genre, but it's also something that you have to see once you're in the genre. And those are usually like the movies.
Okay.
And movies like that, right? Like I feel like Ninja Scroll is a good example of that. Like, it's a wild entry point. This is not what I'm picking, but it's a wild entry point. But it's something that you kind of could watch as an expert. You should watch as an expert. But like, if you fell into it, you're like, what's it? But I'm gonna pick Summer Wars.
I've never watched that, so that's actually a really good one.
It's a really good movie.
I've never watched that before.
It's a really good movie. It's like it's a heartwarming story, but there's like a lot's happening, and it feels like it's of those upper Studio Ghibli kind of like,
Yeah.
you know,
Is that the one with the rabbit?
yeah.
I always thought that was a Digimon movie.
Yeah.
Like I really thought
But
that was a
it's
Digimon.
beautiful.
Yeah,
but
no,
but
it
the
looks
guy
good.
who created, the guy who produced it, I was thinking it's Mamro, beginning with an S, I believe. And he did a number of films that they have that kind of Studio Ghibli aesthetic where, like, he did this one called Mirai, which is about like a brother and sister, or like a sister trying to find her brother and they're going through time or something like that. It's like it's crazy. There's that. There's Summer War. There's that. There's a Boy and His Beast, Bakemono no Ko, which is like it's kind of like I have it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a sort of like a retelling in a way of the relationship between Mowgli and Baloo, but it's like with martial arts and things like that. And it's like and he also did one called Wolf. I think the Wolf Children, I believe it was. So they're all those kind of films are like. If I feel like if you're an anime fan, you should watch these films.
Okay.
But they're also like very good entry points to like, hey, you should watch this movie.
Yeah.
you know?
Okay. No, very cool. Actually, which one did you pick again? I'm sorry.
I did say a lot. Summer War.
Summer Wars. Yeah. Okay. I'm definitely gonna check that out because I always saw it, but I never picked it up. But it looked really.
They're all beautifully animated.
Yeah, like the rabbit. That was the thing that got me. I was like, dude, I gotta check this out. And again, I thought it was Digimon for a long time, but my last one. Now this is kind of an obscured one. I wanted to kind of challenge the experts. Because some people be like, I know everything, I know all the manga, stuff like that. So this is collectively. This is for anybody who is like, hardcore fan, or hardcore fan, younger and older. This is for both. Os Karate Boo.
Oh, I've never seen that, but I always wanted to.
It's your, so I guess Os. So I guess. Let me walk it back a little bit. It is sort of the gateway to the 90s aesthetic. Like, it's very, very 90s.
And that's why I gotta watch it now.
Yeah, no, very 90s and very sort of like kind of 90s-esque, I just want to say like manly fun. like they're over there like 100 push-ups and it's like I'm gonna die, and like all of them you like and it's this trope that everybody sort of knows, but back then they were like, Sensei, I'm gonna die, like I already did like 2,000 push-ups. And it's just so funny, like it again, it just brings you back to it's an obscure thing that you're like, why isn't this kind of a little bit well known and stuff like that. That is definitely it's over the top fun. That is definitely my pick for experts. So
Okay.
yeah,
We're doing
it. But before we, what do you want to talk about our honorable mentions, or do we have time to talk about honorable mentions?
One or two.
Okay, we could throw a little one or two.
What our producer's name?
She's saying,
I think we can bring it up next time. Maybe one.
She's saying the theme song to Evangelion.
She should be.
Okay, yeah. So do you want to do? We'll do two. We'll do two. Or do you want to do one for each?
Let's just do one in general.
Okay.
Because we're running out of time.
This is true. Here at Pop Gen Fusion, we just have a good time and the time flies.
The time just flies. Tekkaman Blade.
Oh,
I love Tekkaman Blade. It's the first series is like has a complete. It has a sequel, but you didn't really need to watch that one. Just watch the first one. It's a complete story. It has that mechness, and it has a little bit of romance, and it has that kind of It's like a sci-fi, like the stuff you would see on Sci-Fi Channel, but it's like I think it could work now. Like if they did a series about it now, it would work. Like the way it's written. Amnesiac falls to Earth. And he got this powers that these guys that space people. Earth space are at war with these like spider creatures. He has the means to be able to fight these things.
Gotcha.
You find out more about him. And why these spider things is coming.
Okay. Yeah.
It has henshin transformation for those who don't know.
Henshin.
It's like that tokusatsu going on.
Yes.
But yeah.
Which Moonlair will be having some stuff in there. So
Yep.
definitely look out for that. Where would you place that? Would you place that for intermediate, expert?
Intermediate.
Intermediate? Okay.
Intermediate, yeah, for sure.
Okay. I would have to go. I'm going to put this honorable mention in all 3 categories.
Okay.
Final Fantasy Legends of the Crystal.
Oh.
And the reason why I put that.
We talked about that on our first episode.
We did.
Episode 1, aka The Origin Story.
Definitely, if you haven't seen that, go back, check that out. It's a good show.
It's a good show.
Yeah. We're only getting better. That's right. What'd you say? So Final Fantasy Legend of the Crystal, I think for everyone, for intermediate, it's gentle. Again, it's an adventure story. It's about a girl going on a journey. A really gun ho boy be like, I gotta follow you, like I gotta protect you. Like it's really, really sweet.
Yeah.
For intermediate, I feel it will keep you invested. It'll be like, this is really cool. And then for experts, I feel not a lot of people know about it. So
that's a great. Man, you nailed that one. That was a bullseye.
Yeah.
Man, you almost recovered from that Neon Genesis debacle.
No.
But
I ascended. Anyways. Dude, we could spend a whole show about that. Even we can go on. I'm coming with facts on this one. But yeah, so that is our top 3 lists for expert or for beginner, newbie, intermediate, and expert. So
Yep.
Again, if you feel we missed something, or if you don't agree, or if you agree, definitely drop a comment.
Remember, if you do not like Neon Genesis, a Screw Angel Thesis opening theme, do not comment at all. If you love it, comment and let him know how many people will love this.
Come into my embrace. And
that it is in fact a bop, as the young kids like to call it.
This is it slaps.
So if you like our video, like, share, and subscribe.
Definitely subscribe. And I'm so sorry.
I was just saying, go to moonlairstudios.com.
Definitely go to moonlair.com. Definitely cop if you have not copped our first physical manga from Moonlair Studios, Go Ganzi. It is available right now on moonlairstudios.com. Check it out. We have a bunch of other merchandise. As far as Pop Gen Fusion merchandise, we're working hard on that, and so that will be available very soon.
Very soon. And the dynamic manga version of Go Ganzi will be coming, in fact, in 2023.
Absolutely. Yes. So definitely, man, we just got a whole bunch of stuff.
A whole bunch of
good stuff. And
And for Pop Gen Fusion, we got some great ideas for some shows coming up. We're going to have some guests.
We're going to have some, really, really cool guests. We're going to have some bits. It's going to be awesome. You guys don't want to miss that. Definitely, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. So until next time, guys, later days.
And cool summers.
He's making a thing. Oh, well. All right. See you later, guys.
Take it in.